Well, hello there and welcome back to the Hull City Fan Central YouTube channel, where today I'll be giving my official match prediction for tomorrow's fixture against Swansea at home at the MKM Stadium after our fantastic 1-0 victory against Bournemouth last week. Obviously, in this week's time, there has been quite a few changes at the club. So since Ajunilajali came in, we all thought, oh, Grant McCann, is he possibly going to go? Well, he actually did. This week he left and we brought in Shota Arulverdes. Believe that's how you pronounce his name. I apologise if I have butchered that. But also in transfer news we have brought in Regan Slater, if you will know him from our title winning performance last season. He did play about 34 games-ish for the club last season before he went out to Sheffield United. But he's back at the club after about 6 months away, hoping that he can state his name a bit further as he was doing last season. So there's a few changes there. There's a few more changes getting made and will be done very, very soon, especially after today's press conference with the Vice Chairman of course, Ajunilajali and Shota. So there's a few changes there according to official sources and also in the official interview. So a few changes that have been made is that Guernsey and Swansea will also be back with this new home game tomorrow. They'll be back on BBC Radio Humberside, so that's obviously nice to hear. And also there's talks of bringing the prices down to about £2 at the lowest per game, which I think is a very, 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 very good deal. Especially with all the offers that I'm sure that Ajunilajali will bring in and make our club just 10 times better than any other club in the world. So anyway, let's get into my official team prediction for tomorrow's fixture. Okay, so obviously as we have a new manager in, you don't really know what the starting lineup would be. But this is our current starting lineup that I feel is the best one that we had during Grant McCann's reign, especially with the formation. But obviously Shota will come in, he'll change up stuff. He might see something else that will probably be better, could be worse, we don't know. Because obviously he's only had a few days with the squad. But I believe that he'll put out this lineup considering it's the last one and it has been performing, 2 clean sheets, 2 wins. So I believe he'll put out this lineup with obviously Nathan Baxter in goal. Then line up in the back 3 with Deschamps Bernard, Sean McLaughlin and Jacob Greaves, which have been outstanding. I'm sure that we can get a clean sheet against Swansea tomorrow. Then coming into the middle of the park we do have Richie Smallwood and Greg Doherty. Moving a bit further up we do have Ryan Longman and Randell Williams, which I'm pleasantly surprised by Randell Williams, his performances over the past few games, pushing into like the entirety of the season. I was one of the advocates for saying that he should have been in the starting lineup way earlier than what he was, but it's glad that he's making his name now and obviously being an absolutely brilliant player, which is nice to have. Then moving into the centre area we do have George Honeyman, and then coming up to our 2 strikers we do have Tom Eaves and Keane Lewis Potter, who obviously has been rumoured to be leaving the club, but Ajunilajali says that he's not going to leave the club in January, despite Brentford putting a £10 million bid in, and Tottenham apparently putting a big money bid in as well. But anyway, let's move on to both teams' recent form. Okay, so for Hull City's recent form, we have lost 3 of the last 5, winning the most recent 2. That being the 1-0 away victory at Bournemouth, which was a fantastic win, especially considering that Bournemouth did have about 70% possession, which is just crazy. As Grant McCann did say at the end of the game, they can take the ball home, we'll take the 3 points. Thank you very much. Then, of course, we did get that fantastic 2-0 victory at home against Blackburn, which obviously was the first game in Ajunilajali's reigning career. So of course, another clean sheet, 2 clean sheets back to back. Then moving backwards we did have like a little bit of a lost streak. Apart from the Stoke game, these performances were very good. So obviously that 2-0 loss against Stoke, which we don't really like to talk about much anymore. But yeah, it was a terrible performance. The 3-2 loss against Everton is in our last 5. Obviously, it feels like years ago that, but it was a fantastic game that. Okay, so after the Everton game, well, before the Everton game, I should say, we did have that 1-0 loss against Blackpool. Obviously, that dodgy penalty decision. But who really likes to say? So let's go on to Everton's recent form. Okay, so Everton's recent form, they do have 2 draws, 2 losses, and 1 win out of the last 5. Obviously, one of these is a cup game, so you know, really. But they are only 3 points ahead of us. Winning tomorrow would send us up to equal points on them, just a bit below them on goal difference. But what can we do? They do have a 0-0 draw against QPR as their last fixture. Then a 1-0 win at home against Preston. Then a 1-1 draw against Huddersfield away. Then moving into their FA Cup game where they did lose 3-2 to Southampton. And then a nice 4-1 loss to Nottingham Forest. Obviously our game against Nottingham Forest most recently was that 2-1 loss. It really should have been a 1-1 draw if the referee had a pair of eyes. But anyway, let's go into my official match score prediction. Okay, so for the game tomorrow, I do think it's going to be a tidy 2-0 victory. Obviously a repeat of the Blackburn game, but I do feel that Tom Eaves will be the first to score in this game. I feel it'll be about the 34th minute-ish. That section of the game will get a nice goal in after dominating the first half. Then moving into the second half, we'll have a bit of a reserve half. Obviously it's Shottering. I don't know how his play style is, whether he's more pushing for extra goals or once he's got 1 goal, we'll sort of reserve a bit back. We'll just have to see tomorrow. But yes, I do think that Keane Lewis Potter will get the second goal, obviously stating his name a bit further after getting denied by the club his moves to various Premier League clubs. As I mentioned earlier, Brentford and Tottenham are hungrily coming after him, but Junel Ajali's saying no till the end of the season at least. At least that's what he said today. But anyway, we'll see how far that actually lasts. But that's it for this video. Let me know down in the comments what you think your score prediction will be and who do you think will score. Of course, the game against Swansea is live at the MKM for 3 PM tomorrow. So make sure you get down there and join in the Tigers. But I don't believe this one's on TV, so I apologise if you can't get to it. There's not really much I can do, really. But anyway, that's it for this video. Make sure that you like and subscribe so that you can stay up to date with all the Hull City knowledge. And also, I'll have a matchday vlog out for you tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. But that's it for this video. Goodbye.